Hello, welcome to my gallery. I'm Tim Packer. I'm here with another artist friend of mine today, Wendy Birmingham. Thanks for coming down, Wendy.
Hi Tim, thanks for asking me.
So Wendy's here today because we have an upcoming group show at the Tim Packer Gallery called Crossing Paths, which is going to be myself and about 8 or 9 artist friends of mine that I've crossed paths with over the year, and whose work I really admire and who I've got to become really good friends with. So we're starting to do a video with each of the artists, and Wendy's down here to tell us a little bit about her and her work.
Yeah.
So maybe to start off, you can just tell me about how you became interested in art and kind of how you went from, like I say, like most of us, being a kid who had an interest in drawing to the point now where you're, a very successful professional artist.
Well, it's kind of a long journey. I think by the time I was in grade 3, I said I was going to be an artist. So I went to art college, went to OCA, and became a graphic designer, and I worked in advertising and all that stuff. And I kind of stopped painting I never actually painted. I thought, I don't even want to do this, I just want to do graphic design. Stayed at home with the kids, and then thought, I'm letting my love of art go down. So I thought, I'm going to try painting. So I said, I'm just going to start painting. So I bought myself a book, taught myself how to paint. I did a little bit of painting in art college. And it was something I could do at home and still have the kids in and out from school and stuff. And I never looked back. I was like, I wish I had started it sooner.
And I just want to take you back a bit, because my background is pretty similar in terms of the graphic design.
Yeah.
No one even told us that this was an option. Like the idea.
My dad did this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you'd seen that.
Yes.
But in college, I don't know, in high school and in college, it was very much, if you're going to be an artist, you need to be a commercial
the money
artist.
is in the commercial, right?
The thought was very much, there's no way you could make a living as an easel painter just by painting what you want and hopefully finding a market for it out there.
Yeah.
And that's actually not true, right?
No.
And especially now, it's probably the best time ever.
Absolutely,
So when you started getting back in painting and you decided this was something you wanted to pursue, what were you painting? Like, this wasn't coming out of that.
I was painting, actually I asked my dad, what should I paint? He goes, paint what you love. And at the time, I loved gardening. I'm still an avid gardener. So I would take my easel and paint outside in my own backyard. I'd paint gardens and flowers, big, big Georgia O'Keeffe flowers. So I did that for 9 years, and then all of a sudden I thought, I couldn't paint another flower if you paid me. And I wanted to do something more challenging, so I took up landscape painting, and I went online, I bought books, I asked questions, I talked to other artists, and I just started doing it, and then I started getting more serious and started having a routine where I was up in my studio every day at 10, and I would paint every day, as much as I could anyways, in between kids and stuff. And and it was just the best thing I ever did was start landscape painting. I have they call me the tree lady now, so I have this thing about trees. I know we're all tree people, right? And then the forest, and then I went away with Tim to Batchwater Bay in Lake Superior. That changed me.
Yeah.
And I haven't been the same since.
That landscape is my favorite place in the world.
It was amazing. Yeah. The forest. So I went from just individual trees to actual forest with I don't know what it was at Lake Superior. We climbed up Batchewana Mountain, and you saw that light in the forest, and I'm like, that was my aha moment almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you were painting early on, it was in the studio?
Yes.
Because you are
and
plein air, because you're probably the best plein air painter that I know.
Oh, thank you.
Like, seriously, like I dabble in it. I know Sheila kind of dabbles in it too, but we're mainly studio painters. But you were very, very intent on plein air for a while, right?
Yes,
Where you
and I still love it.
But now you're doing more. But the plein air kind of was where your style evolved, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And then it's been translated now bigger onto the canvases.
Yeah, and I think plein air has helped me be a better studio artist. And the studio, working in the studio with no time limits, you don't have to worry about light and bugs and things like that, has really helped my plein air. Because you can experiment in the studio, and then plein air, you got to get it in fast. You got bugs or with sun on you, it starts raining, whatever. But painting outside for me is my first love.
Yeah.
And I love the smells, and when I go back to that painting, I go back to that day, I can tell you exactly what happened, bugs or
You can
have
hear the
animals.
sounds.
Yes, and I'm completely quiet, so I just hear nature around
Yeah.
me. And I've had fox run past me, I've had wild turkeys walk past me, and they don't even know I'm there. I feel like I'm one with nature, and to see the colors and the trees and everything with my eyes and not through camera,
Yeah.
you get much more, you learn more about color and light by looking at it right from the source.
One of my favorite analogies, I forget where I heard it, where they said that painting in the studio is painting as a noun, and painting plein air, painting as a verb.
Absolutely.
Because you got 2 hours,
Yes.
the light's gonna change, and
Yeah.
you're kind of flying by the seat of your
And
pants.
it's very emotional,
Yeah.
because you don't have time to think so much. It's just pure emotion out of you, and I think my plein air paintings are better than my studio. So
I would have said a year or 2 years ago, I would have agreed, but
Yeah.
some of your studio pieces now are just knocking my
catching
socks off.
So now I'm pretty half and half now.
Yeah.
Well, mostly it's studio all winter, not really, I'm kind of a fair weather
Yeah.
painter outside, but in the summer, yeah, at least once or twice a week.
So tell me a little bit about your process. Do you paint on canvas or panels or both?
I used to just paint on canvas, and now through Sheila, she introduced me to panels, and I love panels, mostly paint on panels, but I do paint a little bit on canvas, but it is kind of wobbly, and
It's
at
like painting
first
on a
I'm
drum.
very heavy with the arm, and it's kind of wobbly, but I love the way it dries faster, and I love it. The paint kind of sits up
Yeah.
on a panel, and yeah, I love them.
And you work in traditional oils?
Traditional oils, I do, I used to do little sketches, color sketches, and now I'm like, it's taking too much time, why don't I skip that step and do the sketch kind of thing right on there? So I used to do like an underpainting in like a warm red, but now I'm actually switched to almost a full color underpainting.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I haven't
that's
seen that
just
step.
recent.
Yeah.
It depends. If it's a tree with lots of reds and browns, I will do transparent oxide red kind of underpainting. I do my drawing and I grit it all out and get everything in there. But now I'm using a lot more brighter colors, so I like to keep them pure.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just leave them with one layer and not put anything on top. It brings the light out.
And you work pretty much a la prima, like you start and finish a painting, or do you let it dry and come over it?
I'll work as much as I can. But I do like working wet on wet.
Yeah.
But the first layer, like the underpainting, I prefer to let it dry.
Okay.
And then, because I like that, I like to leave my underpainting showing
Yeah.
in a lot of spots, and it really gives great depth. So I need that to dry because I don't want it to get contaminated. So once that's dry, it's all wet on wet from there till the very end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great stuff. I love your work.
Thank you.
So before we leave, as we said before, like I say, we have a lot of aspiring artists that end up watching these videos. If you had to give one piece of advice to someone who was thinking about pursuing a career in art, or someone who was already pursuing a career and kind of was looking to bring it to the next level, what would be the advice you would give them?
I would say it's a hard work. If you want to be half decent, it can't be a hobby. You have to work at it every day. If you want to really learn fast, you have to work hard every day. And I would say it's a long haul. And don't be impatient. And get as much information as you can. There's so much information out there, and it's free.
They have YouTube now.
There's YouTube. There's a lot of artists all over the world that are giving free advice.
Yeah.
It's there for the taking. I did it. Read a lot. Learn from other artists, and really, you just got to put the miles on the canvas. There's no shorts.
I like the fact that you said patience too, because
Absolutely.
it's a marathon.
Yes.
It's not a sprint.
Yes.
There's no quick fixes.
No.
It's
No.
like we all have many thousands of hours
And you
standing
think you
in
want
front
to
of the
paint a
easel.
certain way, but you
Yeah.
have to really start from the basics. You can't be an abstract painter. You have to pay your dues.
You've got to learn the
You have
skills.
to learn how it looks like and paint it how it is and realistic before you can start breaking down the form and get more abstract and get that style and get more expressive, you have to know the basics of color composition and drawing before you can change the rules and make it your own sort of thing.
And
So
that's
you have to
what
keep
that's
it.
what a lot of people don't want to do. They think
No, they
that
wanna
they
skip
can
the
just pick up
steps.
a paintbrush
Yes.
and push paint around.
Yes.
And I mean, you can push paint around and occasionally get something that looks half decent,
Yes.
but so can Coco the monkey.
That's right, yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm a firm believer as
Yeah.
well that, you learn the skills, you learn the concepts, you do
Then
all of
you
that,
can change.
and then
Yeah.
you can start breaking
Yeah,
it down.
Picasso,
Yeah.
he wasn't abstract. People are freaked, like they don't think he can draw. He's a great drawer.
He was
But
painting.
you have to do that first.
He was
before you
painting
do that.
circles around the best painters in Madrid at
Absolutely.
the academy.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of
And,
people don't
Monet
think.
was
Yeah.
a traditional painter,
Yeah.
and then it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not a race, it's an actual journey. And the journey's wonderful.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. It's fantastic. And I wish I had started sooner, but that's my other advice.
too.
Never give
Yeah.
up. I didn't start painting till I was in my 40s.
That's
So, and
well, we started as kids,
we started as kids. Always was drawing all the time.
but I was the
I've
same.
never
I
painted.
left the police force in 1999, so 18 years ago. So I was
Yeah.
in the same thing. I was
Yeah.
40 by the time I actually started painting
Yeah.
full
The
time.
dream is there. Don't give
Yeah.
up if you
Yeah.
really want it.
Yeah.
And work hard and you'll get it.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, the
It'll be
show's
great.
going to be great. So, the show will be starting November 3rd at Tim Packer Gallery at 9 William Street West in Oshawa. And I hope to see you there. And thank you for your time. And I will see you next time.